In this video, we're going to take a look at our pickups. And first, armor helmet. First, we check if our armor value currently is less than 200, because if it's more or 200, then we shouldn't get any more. This is our limit. If you want to have it dynamically changed, you can make a variable and connect it here. You will also need to change the pickup blueprint as well this way. There is a value that is used inside. We can open it right away. By the way, we'll need this soon enough anyway. We'll go to pickups, armor, helmet blueprint. Here so our interaction, yes, you see here this is also typed in. So in case you want a variable, you will add a variable, say armor maximum, and you will connect it here, and here you will have to get it like so. Get that variable and connect it to here from this casting to first person character. So we will get back to this. And so we have checked how much armor do we have first, and then the sequence. First of all, the display. Now our helmet provides 5 armor. It's typed in here. You can again change this value, and you will not need to change this in the blueprint or anywhere else. And if our current amount of armor is less than 5, then we will set armor rating to 3, and we will also set the image, the armor image here. Let's find it. There it is. The armor image, we're setting it to helmet. This variable, the armor image, is used by the UI, and we will take a look at it probably right after we cover the pickups. So next, so in case, to recap real quick, in case the current value of the armor is less than the amount that we add by this by the helmet, then we change the armor rating and we change the image. So in case we had, for example, already a red armor, and we have lots of armor, like 100, then we will add 5, but we will not change the armor rating, we will not change the image, and we will have the red armor displayed. So we add 5 and clamp the value to this maximum of 200. So you will, if you want the variable, you will need to connect it here, and then you set message, you got a helmet, and clear messages items. We have covered this in the previous video. So in case of the blue armor, same here, only we set the armor rating to 2 in any case, because this is the ultimate armor. We add 200 with maximum of 200, and we set our armor image also regardless of anything to the blue armor, and message for the blue armor, and clear messages items. Next, red armor, same condition, same armor rating in any case, and then we add 100 to the armor, and We clamp it to 200 and we set image to red armor. Message and clear messages. Next, yellow armor. This time the condition is that we need to have less than 100. Otherwise, we will not be able to add anything. And the same in the pickup itself. If we take a look at the yellow armor, if we have more than 100 of armor, then nothing will happen. Actually, the pickup will remain on the ground. By the way, this is an action event. This is event action begin overlap. Oh my god, actor begin overlap. Okay, we'll get back to this. So then we check if our current armor is less than 50, because this armor will give us 50 with the maximum of 100. So if our current armor value is less than 50, then it will set our armor rate to 3. So if we had red armor, then we had 100, right? And the armor rating was 2. Then we got hit a few times and our armor becomes 49. And we pick up this, then this will change and lower our armor rating. Well, the numerical value will go up from 2 to 3, but from the point of view of meaning, the armor rating will go down, of course, because the less the value, the more armor will affect the damage. So if we have, for example, if we had red armor and we have 100, then nothing will happen. We will not be able to pick this up at all. If we have like 90, then this will be picked up and it will add 10 because and we will have 100 and it will still be red armor rating. However, when we have less than what the armor gives us, then the armor rating changes. Same messages story. And same for the green armor, only this is also with maximum of 100, but this one adds 25, and this one will change our armor rating to 3 if our current armor is less than 25. Also sets the image. Okay, so let's take a look at some, well, at the yellow armor, for example. So event actor begin overlap. So this is when we start overlapping with the actor. In this case, we cast a first person character, we get the armor. If it's less than 100, yes, this is yellow armor, we go to the event, we call the event to get the yellow armor. This logic here. Of course you could have this, of course you could have all of this logic inside there, but it is actually, you can see that you can imagine that this was modified multiple times. So the less you have scattered over other blueprints, the easier it is to change things. Like at first I didn't have this part, and then when I had it, I could add this part to each of the pickup here without going through different blueprints. So let's get back. So then, if the condition was satisfied, then we destroy the actor. We play the sound of beep, and then we cast to our first person character again, and we set our items collected to items collected plus 1. Let's see the whole thing from the beginning now. It is pretty much the same. So yes, this part here is the same for every pickup, regardless of whether it is a weapon, ammo, key, whatever. First, and also this part is also the same. Each of them got this part. So first, we get player character, cast to first person character, and get items to collect. Let's go to our first person character. And here we have items to collect and items collected. We have also monsters to kill, monsters killed, secrets to found, and secrets found. So now we're dealing with items to collect and items collected. So, getting back to our yellow armor, so on event begin play, we get this value and add 1 to it. So you can put multiple yellow armors in the scene, and each of them on event begin play will add 1 to items to collect. And then when you interact with it and overlap with it, and if you can pick it up, in the end you set items collected to plus 1, and this will be used by the UI widget that appears on level clear that calculates the percentage of the collected items. We will see it later when we review all of the menus. Okay, so next, set an air. Here, if this, like, we have a number of open variables. Let's look here. It doesn't matter which object, like this for example, is up and down, rotate and float. If you see, this is set to 1, so when we begin play, you can see that our invulnerability sphere is floating. You see, some of the items are in the air, some of them are rotating, and some of them are on the ground. They all have the same logic, only this is set to different values. So, getting back, if float is set to 1, here, which is an open to public variable, public variable, and we set our relative location to 50 on the z-axis. Then it's up and down and rotate. So if up and down is 1, then we set range. This can be, well, this is closed, but you can open it and you will be able to adjust it. This is how much the component moves up and down. And here we set the rotator, and here we say to our component, which is the scene and got all of the objects, move component to target relative location. We get the location of the scene first and add this range. And then when this is completed, we do the same thing, only the range is multiplied by -1. And we have this loop. Same with rotation. Only here we don't need to multiply it by a negative value. We can use the same thing. So we get the scene, get its relative rotation, we break vector, and on z-axis we add our rotator, this, we set it in the beginning. It is not really necessary to have a variable actually, and you can simply enter a value here, but it's here. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so this is quite simple, right? Just a loop of moving up and down. And then we have the interaction that we have already reviewed. And this is the same for every pickup. Items count, set nair, up and down rotate, and at the bottom we have the interaction. So let's go on. The medkits, quite simple. There are those that have values clamped to 100 and those that got clamped to 200. So small medkit and large medkit are clamped to 100, then the vial, and potion, and mega health, they all can bring you up to 200. They add different values to your current health, so you set health to current health plus 10 for the small pickup, 25 for large pickup. You can adjust these values, of course, and you have corresponding messages. You got a small medkit, large medkit, potion, mega health, and so on. Then you clear the messages. That's it, basically. There's nothing more. Okay, here are our alterations. This a bit more tricky. Now, first of all, we check if invulnerability is yes, this is this is a mistake. It's we need this less. It's because when you type less, first thing that that you get is this. For some reason it gives you less and equal. So this is so counterintuitive. Generally, actually, the whole thing of the whole search thing in the engine is done amazingly good. You can type in just fractures of words and it will give you results very fast, very well, very nice. Except for this part where you type equal, for example. Now equal is fine, but if you type more, it gives you more and equal. So this is where the mistakes happen. Of course, we need less than 1, and actually this condition is basically just not 1, or if it's 0, so this is the most straightforward way. If invulnerability is equal to 0, then we can get it, because if we are invulnerable already, we shouldn't do anything. You will have this by default this way. Okay, and the sequence, set invulnerability to 1, call invulnerable. This call thing is needed to be so that you can bind events in other blueprints to this event. So whenever this happens, something else might happen in another blueprint. And this is used by our character's head blueprint. And we will take a look at it later. The animations and changing of the materials, those things depend on this thing. So when we call it, you can bind event in other blueprints to this event. A very convenient feature. Delay that is set to invulnerability duration. By the way, we can find these two variables associated. And then we set invulnerability to 0 after the delay of the duration of the effect. Next, we set the message, clear the message, and also here we have a delay duration of the effect -3, so 3 seconds before the duration will run over, we will have the message that the effect is wearing off. Clear messages. Okay. Now get medkit red. This is the berserk actually. So first we check if the berserk equals to 0. This time it is correct from the start. And first we set it to 1, then we set current health to we add 100 to our current health, and we set the message that we go berserk from the heavy drugs, and clear message. And also same thing 3 seconds before we call the berserk that is used by the head blueprint. We also select our fists, the event here, I got lost. Yes. So 3 seconds before the duration is over, we get the message that we're getting back to our senses. And next, the main logic. We set our max walk speed. The target is character movement. This component here. So we get the speed, we multiply it by 1.5 and we set it. We also multiply the fist damage by 10, setting it here, and we set fist impulse multiplier. It is used, if you remember, this was mentioned during the logic. Yes, impulse at location. This impulse is multiplied by this fist's impulse multiplier. Then a delay, the berserk duration delay. So you can conveniently change it here. And then we set everything back to what it was. So we set character's max walking speed to character normal speed. By the way, this is set in the beginning. On event begin play, we have set character normal walk speed, so we get character movement. We get the speed that is, let's see here. We can find, not to waste time, walk max walk speed. So we get this value from on the event begin play and set our variable, which is our normal walk speed. Because if you change this, right, we don't want to go and change it also here. So when the game begins, we get the value that you set here, and we store it, and we bring this value back here. And fist damage, well, here we were multiplying by 10, so here we multiply it by 0.1 to get it back. And we set fist impulse multiplier to 1, and we set berserk to 0. Okay, and this? Oh, this is the regeneration logic. So it's a loop of setting our current health to plus 5. So we get a current health, add 5 to it with maximum of 100, and we set our current health. And we do this each we do this every 0.3 seconds. 3 fractures of a second. But every time we check if our berserk state is still 1 and if our current health is less than 100. Well, this is actually not necessary because we're clamping the value, but just in case. So this is happening in the loop while these conditions are satisfied. When the berserk will get back to 0, then this condition will stop being satisfied and the loop will break. And next is our ammo. Basically it repeats the whole thing before in general, so you can figure it out with no problem. You add some bullets to the backpack. You have pistol ammo backpack. In the backpack you add the value to it, right? You set the value, you set the message, clear the message, and so on. Clamping to maximum. So just to clarify, clamp means if you have 90 or if you have 190 and the max is 200 and we add 17, well, it'll be 200, obviously. So the thing that need explanation maybe here. When we get the double shotgun, when we get some shells or the back for the shotgun shells here, if weapon selected is 4, which is our double shotgun, and we don't have any ammo in the chambers of our double shotgun, then we should go to the reload. So this is that automatic thing. We shoot, we don't have any ammo, we get it, and we reload automatically. This is covered by this part of the logic. Very simple. Apart from that, yes, it's all very simple. You get a rocket, you get the value for the ammo in the backpack, you add 1. It's very clear. Okay, next, the guns. So you can imagine you simply set the inventory state of every weapon. I'm also calling grin here so that our character smiles, grins, right? When we get a new weapon. Like we can see that when we, well, you're right. Okay, we will see this when we will be looking at our character's head blueprint, how this works. Again, this is needed to bind an event to it. So everything is quite simple here. The only thing that might need some explanation is when we get the pistol and we already have the pistol, then we simply should yes, if we already have the pistol, we should simply get a pistol clip from it. When we get the shotgun and we already have the shotgun, then we simply add, we simply go get shotgun shells. And yes, this is not necessary from here. So I will disconnect this and you will have this way from. It doesn't really change anything, it's just a bit more correct. It's just unnecessary. The result is the same, but anyway. So whenever we get the double shotgun, we don't have an event for adding 2 shells, right? So here we cannot call an event like get shotgun shells because it's 4. We should get only 2. So here we have to specify that we're getting only 2 shells. And then we have to go through this logic of automatic reload for the chambers of our double shotgun again. So the rest is generally the same. Okay. So in the next video we will take a look at the UI for our character, the main UI, where we have the health, the armor, and the rest of the stuff.